is going on? I am your boy Warpath, and today I am bringing you an OBS tutorial series. Yes, there are many videos out there for OBS, but honestly, it took me a while by myself to actually set up the whole OBS and everything. And mind you, I will do everything I can with the OBS and show you every little detail that I can. Alright, right now I pretty much have only 6 episodes planned out. If there is any more episodes in mind that would come up that would help you guys out on your journey with the OBS and Twitch.tv itself, then I will definitely make more videos about it. But for right now, all I got is 6 episodes, and today's episode 1, we're going to start up with the setup. Alright, let's get on it. So, as you can see, you will see my little mouse cursor going around this page itself, where I can touch this right here, but I can also go over here, right? So what I just did, I pretty much did a Windows capture. I will talk more of that when we get into episode 2 on the scenes, alright? So, here we go. First thing is first, you need to download the Open Broadcaster software. It's just the way it is, right? OBS. So what you want to do is you want to come down to obsproject.com. Let me go ahead and clear this out for you and open a better. There we go. So you're going to be coming to obsproject.com, and you're going to find yourself 2 different types of OBSs, right? You have your OBS Classic and your OBS Studio. There's a difference between them. OBS Classic only pertains to Windows, as you guys can see, and OBS Studio is a multi-platform program. So if you have a computer that's Windows, but you actually stream on your Mac, and you have Linux going through it, then OBS Studio is the way you want to go. So what is OBS? OBS is an open broadcaster software. It's free. It's an open source, alright? And it'll show you all the support features that it will include. It'll have several plugins that will help you in your journey into making a beautiful stream out of your Twitch. And of course, it costs absolutely nothing. Every donation counts for these people. They actually work very hard for the OBS, and of course, it's also like I said, it's an open source, so you can actually go on GitHub and pretty much put your project there, and they'll see it, analyze it, and if they think it's a good idea, they'll probably incorporate it into their program. So now we're going to go ahead and hit our OBS, and let me open it up for you. Alright, so like I said, you'll see this all sorts of crazy, and there's like multiple windows of infinity. It's because I have the window capture, but like I said, we'll talk about that in the second episode, alright? So, get to it really quick right in here. First things first, you're going to go to settings. You're going to hit settings. This is going to come up, alright? You're going to see all several stuff, encoding, broadcast systems, the video, the audio, hotkeys, advanced, a quick sync encoder, browser, the noise gate, and the scene switcher. Okay, so we'll start off with the general. In general, you're going to have to go ahead and set up your language. Primarily, by default, it comes in English, but for those that are, Spanish, and you want to do Spanish, then you'll do Spanish, and everything will change to Spanish, and so on and so on. Alright, so notification area icon, this is how it came in, and I kinda left it that way, to tell you the truth. I didn't touch anything there. Back then, when I started my stream, it was me and my good buddy Erudophobia. Many of you will hear him in the party every now and then, because I do have set up my party into my stream, which we'll get into that as well in one of the episodes. But we used to stream together, and so that way we call it Warphobia Stream Team. It stayed like that, and it does not give me the option anymore to move it or change it. I don't know why, but it's fine with me. It doesn't come up on stream. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't disturb the whole setting, so I don't care much. So we're going to go ahead and hit the encoding. Make sure your encoding is at X264, alright? You're going to use your ZBR, and you're going to enable the CBR padding. Quick balance is going to stay like that. It's not going to be able to move. As you can see, I'm clicking as much as I can, and it's not going to do anything. You're going to use your custom buffer size. Go ahead and check mark that box as well. Okay, here's the tricky part. Now you're going to set up your mixed bitrate and your buffer size. Okay, now whatever you put on the max bitrate, you're definitely going to do the same with the buffer size. And the best way to get that is to go to speedtest.net, and it'll show you how much is your upload. Everything is run by kilobytes. So go through Google afterwards and just write, kilobytes to megabytes or megabytes to kilobytes. So when your upload comes up and it tells you, oh, you can upload 4 megs, you're going to go in there. It's going to pretty much, 1,000 kilos or 1 meg. So if you do have 4 upload, then that means you have 4,000 kilobytes of upload. When you're doing Twitch TV, go through the Twitch settings. It'll tell you exactly what is the preferred amount for the max bitrate. But for myself, I did 1904. Alright? And the reason why I did 1904, and it's kind of an odd number, you're like, why is this so odd? Well, I'll tell you right now. When you go down to the audio encoding, you're going to see the codec AAC. Leave it as that. You don't really want to mess up with your audio. Because once you mess up with your audio, then you're going to have to really go in here and investigate where you went wrong, right? The 48 kilohertz, leave it just like that as well. Now, here's the trick. The bit rate. See how there's many different numbers? I went with 96. That's how it is default. And, of course, every time you do a change, it's going to tell you these settings won't be applied until the next time you begin streaming. But, I didn't change anything. But if you want to, you can go ahead, click apply, and you're good to go. But here's the trick. This bit rate right here is going to sum to your max bit rate. So 1904 plus 96 is about 25, I guess, or 2005 or something like that. But that's what it's going to sum up. So if you put your max bit rate as the recommended of Twitch, then your bit rate is going to suffer because you're going to have to put any bit rate there, and that's going to suffer. You're going to make your CPU pretty much really hit the wall and try to get as much power as it can from the computer. Therefore, your stream is going to lag. The channel, leave it as stereo. For those who have mono, you can, but I prefer it stereo. It's no big deal. It doesn't really affect me. So now we're going to go ahead and hit the broadcast settings. Okay. Make sure you apply every other change. Every time you touch something, it's going to ask you to apply, so hit yes. So your mode is going to be live stream. As you can see, it says file output only. That means you're able to use OBS pretty much to record, and that's about it. So it's going to take away the start streaming option. But you want to stream because that's what you use the OBS pretty much for. I've seen a lot of people that use it for recordings, but myself, I use it for stream, and I just don't want the file output only. So I'm going to go with live stream. Then it's going to ask, oh, what's your streaming service? It's going to ask you, Twitch, Vaughn Live, game, good game, YouTube, Cyber, Hitbox, and all that good stuff. Of course, the new version will definitely have Twitch, but the older versions will say Justin TV or something like that. Go ahead and hit Twitch. And if your streaming service is not there, you can hit Browse. And it's going to pull this folder out, and it's going to ask you, what type of mode you're trying to look for, which, honestly, it should all be right here anyways. Now, you need to pick the most nearest server to you. Okay? So my nearest server is San Francisco, California, believe it or not. I did find Dallas somewhere around here, but that's when I actually downloaded. But the new update took away Dallas, so I'm guessing there's no Dallas server now. So my nearest one is San Francisco, California. So I click that. So now you see how it changed this right here? Now there's no stream key. The reason being is because now that you chose this, you're going to go ahead and look for your stream key. The way to look for the stream key is you're going to go to Twitch, you're going to go to your profile, and then it's going to say stream key. Right? I'm not going to show it on video because I definitely don't want anybody tagging my stream key and doing whatever they want in my stream. So you're going to go ahead, you're going to just copy paste it right here. Hit the auto reconnect box, make sure you hit it, and then your auto reconnect timeout is going to be 5 seconds, right? You can do 10 seconds if you want to, you can do 20. It's up to you how much you want to refresh your, you want to let your CPU calm down and all that good stuff. Of course, it's going to have a delay if you want to. If you do 5 seconds and then you do 2 seconds of delay, it's going to connect in 5 seconds, and then it's going to upload the stream in a delay of 2 seconds afterwards. If you have this checked, uncheck it. For some reason that says minimize network impact, but in reality it really impacts the network. So just take that off. These two actually came out like that. So if you don't want to check mark them, don't. It really doesn't do anything for me. The file path, as you can see, that's where it came from. Or for stream team, and that's how I decided to put my videos in. So if you're recording, it's gonna go straight to right here to this file, and then I can just go ahead and see the videos as many times as I wanted. Back in the about 2 months ago, I had it on stream, live, and record, but it was hectic because it was really kicking the CPU's ass, and it was just bad itself. So we're gonna hit on video. Yes, I would like to hit the apply. Alright, so we're going to go on video, and you can see your video adapter. What you want to do is you want to look for yours. If you have multiple video adapters, then of course there's going to be multiple on your Dropbox. But if not, then you choose the first one that you got. Myself, I have an NVIDIA GeForce GT 610, and eventually I will upgrade it, of course, as will, Then now you're going to look for your monitor. Right? Your base resolution, I recommend to go custom on it, because you want to use the resolution that's on your screen itself. Mine is a 1920 by 1080 with an aspect ratio of 16:9. So, yes, that's what you're going to do. This right here will come automatically. It can't change. You can't do anything to it. You can't back it up or nothing. So, whatever you put here, it's going to change the aspect ratio itself. Then, here's another tricky part, right? A lot of people are like, oh, 1920 1080? Hell yeah. That's going to be HD off the charts. The problem is, not a lot of people may have your same connectivity, your same connection, your uploads, your downloads. So they might have a slower internet than you. So what you want to do is you want a resolution, you want to downscale it, right? Downscale it to 720p, right? And then how you do that is, see how it says here, there's no downscale. That's going to be your HD. And then little by little, you're going to downscale. Of course, play with it. And you won't know exactly how good it looks until you actually test it out yourself. So if you hit 1.25, you can go ahead and click on start streaming, give it like 2 to 3 minutes, go ahead, stop the stream, go into your page, it should save in your videos, and look at it. If you can't look at it yourself because it's lagging a little bit on that good stuff, then keep downscaling until you find that perfect recipe for yourself. Okay? And of course, for the filters, I use Lansco's Best Detail 36 samples. I mean, you could do the cubic or you could do bilinear. But the faster it goes, CPU will also get affected by it. So the Lansco's for me is best. It doesn't really go far and beyond on the CPU, and it kind of gives them that little rest. For the frames per second, you could do 60 if you want to. I do 30 myself, and my stream runs perfectly. But play with it. Okay, just make sure you play with it. 60 might not work best for your downscales, so you're gonna have to reduce your frames per second. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and hit apply. Make sure you hit all apply before you move. Then we're gonna go to audio. On your audio, you're gonna see the desktop audio device. Leave it as default. Okay, just leave it as default. The audio device is going to tell you, oh, speakers or the Asus. No, that's fine. Just leave it default. It's okay. It's not going to... You're going to be fine. Alright, the default is pretty much what you really want anyways if you're using a headset. So, for the microphone and the auxiliary audio device, go ahead and leave that disabled as well. You can use the microphone, okay? And what's that going to do? I did it different because I use a different type of plugin that enables my party when I'm in a party, let's say Xbox or even PlayStation 4. I'm in a party, and you can hear my other counterparts in the party. You can hear my friends and all that stuff, and sometimes they come up with weird conversations that the stream just finds funny, so why not have it there? But if you want to, you can off the bat just go ahead and use your microphone, and you can use your headset. Make sure that your headset is PC console capable. So like for example, the Astros A40s TR edition. Those are actually capable, or the Astros A50s. The A50s, you need to buy a separate cable for the PC, but once you do, then you're set and ready to go. I leave it disabled because of my plugin. Then go ahead and check both of those boxes. For the push-to-talk delay, I mean, if you're the person that eats the mic, I mean, I'm sorry, but there's a lot of people that tend to eat their mic. You might want to have a push-to-talk button on your keyboard. Therefore, your voice won't be going out, but you have to hit the mouse every time. I play in console, so I don't have time to let go of my controller, click the keyboard, talk to you. I might as well just leave it at that. Keep the microphone on a certain distance so it doesn't sound like I'm actually eating my mic, and that way you can hear me and talk to me at all times. And of course, when you're in a conversation with other people on the chat or whatnot, you want to make sure that you talk to them, at the point that that message comes up. You can use the desktop boot. This right here came actually like that in default, so I left it like that. Now my mic sync offset, I did it at 400. I'll explain that in another video. All right, but be aware that if you want to go ahead and set up at 400, you can do that right now if you want to. If you're going to be following this series little by little, eventually you'll see why I have it at 400, and it's to sync the actual game voice, the game volume or the game audio to my voice. All right, because once you start setting this up, if you don't set up those offsets, your game is going to do something else. Your audio of the game is going to be, you're going to be shooting at somebody, then you're going to be running, and when you jump, that's when you're shooting, and so it's all sorts of messed up, and then your voice is doing something else. So you don't want that. It just looks horrible. So yes, go ahead and apply. Now the hotkeys, I don't use hotkeys honestly. As you can see, I actually tried the whole push to talk. If you check mark this box, now you have a push to talk, and now you're gonna have a hotkey. So every time I would talk, it has to be from using the space bar. If I want to, I don't have to do the space bar. I can go ahead and click number 1. If I don't, I'll just do A or S and so on and so on. So you can use any button to actually set up the push to talk. Right? Or you can mute your mic as well. You're like, you know what? I'm going to do that. But in all honesty, I don't need it. So once you uncheck it, all this is gone. Right? For your broadcast, this is for the people that love to do hotkeys with your broadcast. Right? You can start replay buffers or start recording and all that stuff. So you can start the stream if you want to. You can go ahead and click Control S, and that means start stream. Or right here, like stop stream, control space, and it stops the stream automatically once applied. Alright? I'm going to go to advanced real quick. I apologize. My throat is dry. Alright. Here's the tricky stuff. I know there's a lot of stuff going on here. Pretty much the advanced is all the settings you went through plus more. Okay? So, on the general, leave whatever's checked, leave it checked. Okay? Process priority class, leave it normal. You can actually do above normal or high, but of course, every time you go high, CPU gets affected. So I do normal, which is pretty much what it is. If you do idle, then it's pretty much like JFK kind of deal. The scene buffering, see how mine is at 500. If I want to, and I can sync it perfectly, I can do 400. The only problem is, I figured out that my perfect recipe is definitely 500. Definitely. Because your voice tends to go slower than the actual video game. Sometimes you die, and then that's when you do your call-outs. If you're doing like Call of Duty, or you die and you don't believe something, and you're like, oh my god, how did I die? But your voice is going to go always slower than the actual game. So you want to have the game to have a 500, like a 5-second delay. That's pretty much what it is. Scene buffering time, 5-second delay. That's what mine is at. If I wanted to, I can actually set it up for more. When I do competitive play, let's say I'm doing UMGs or GBs with my boys and all that good stuff, then I would come here and say, you know what, I'm going to do 1500 millisecond. That means it's a 15-second delay. So therefore, I need to go to my audio and set it up differently. So like, for example, if I set this up for 1500, then I'm going to go ahead and set this guy up, right? Or this right here at 14, because that's your global audio sync. You want to have it equally. That way it's not getting messed up, and your voice is not doing something else, and your game is not doing something else. In the meanwhile, I like to have it at a 4-second. So that way it has enough time for people to see it right there in the moment, and I'm not way far ahead and talking, and then somebody goes ahead and tells me something in the chat and says, damn man, hey, nice kill, but that kill was like 15 seconds ago, so I'm probably killed somebody else, and so on. Right. So your CPU, as you can see, it says X264. That's your CPU usage. I use mine in ultra fast. I use mine in ultra fast. Now, the faster you go, like I said, the faster you go, the more CPU it's going to use. Alright? The slower you go, it's still good. And I've seen a lot of streamers use it at slow, even slower, even in medium. But that's because they have a different type of CPU. The older your computer is, then your CPU is probably outdated. Therefore, you need to go slower. Your CPU needs to push slower. My CPU is an AMD GFX, so it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It could be better. I could update the CPU definitely, but since it's okay right now and it's really good for me right now, I can actually do ultra fast, and it definitely would not get affected at all. It works perfectly. Those who have been in my stream, they know. Been on point. So the encoding profile, I am just going to use main. That's how it is default. Just leave it at that. Keyframe, same thing. Leave it at that. Do not play with this stuff right here. Okay, you can. I've seen a lot of streamers that do the custom 264 encoder settings. I myself, I didn't need it. So I use CFR, just normal CFR. This is going to stay just like that. Leave it as that. Force the desktop audio to use video timestamps, alright? You want to do that. That's how you can use your global audio sync for your milliseconds, alright? So it can go together with the general, with your scene. And then everything else is pretty much just like that. Leave it as that. Not touch it. I'm going to go to the quick sync encoder. I have yet to use this. I do not know what it is for, honestly. I don't know what to use it for, so just leave it alone, I guess. It hasn't affected me none, so I'm okay with it. The browser is pretty much, that's going to be, you know, your instant, your CSS, and your templates. You can actually play with this stuff if you know a little bit of CSS, that good stuff, and you'll do different stuff. That's the open source, all right? That's the open source part of the OBS. If you have a project, an idea for yourself, you can actually add it to your own OBS. And if it works, it's good, then go ahead and tell the OBS admin personnel, hey, I did this on my OBS. It works perfect. I think it would be a nice plugin for everybody else. And then they'll review it and they'll go ahead. Noise gate, that's up to you. The noise gate is pretty much how loud you can go. So let's say I enable my noise gate and I set it all up perfectly. If I start talking like this, you hear me? Because I have a noise gate. So it depends. Voice. But now if I talk like this, then my mic will automatically activate. It's like pretty much it's like muting your mic so that way your voice is not all over the place all the time. I myself, I don't enable it. It's fine. You hear me perfectly, and every time I talk, you're gonna be able to hear me. And then the scene switcher, I have yet to use the scene switcher, but it's pretty much to change scenes constantly while you're doing something. You can just hotkey it, you press a button, and it changes to another scene, and to another scene, to another scene. Honestly, I don't see why would I use this. I have not yet found a use for it, so that's why I haven't used it. But if you do find a use for it and you want to know more about it, go to the OBS forums. If not, then go ahead to the to YouTube. There's tons of videos for the scene switcher. I've seen them. I looked at it, I was like, I really don't need the scene switcher for anything right now. Once you're done with everything, just hit OK. Everything is going to close. Of course, we'll talk about scenes on episode 2, and that way we'll go ahead and set up the scenes, set up your sources, so you are able to start streaming. Once everything is done, everything should work perfectly. Alright? I appreciate it tons. Thank you very much. I hope this has helped a lot. If you have any questions, please leave your comment on the below bar, and of course, hey, click that subscribe button, click the like, give me your opinions, and let me know if everything worked out for you. If not, like I said, let me know, and we'll work through it. All right, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. This is your boy Warpath signing out.